Hey guys, Michael B. the Game Genie here, and welcome to my June 2015 update to my NES Complete Collection Chronicles. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my NES Complete Collection Chronicles. This is actually going to be a really fun episode and one I'm really proud of because I didn't have to rely on the kindness of others. I actually picked up some games for myself, and that's one of the funnest things. Like, I love getting games from people, but it's cool to still be able to go out and find games myself. This time, the first game I found, I'm so excited about because I actually found it at my old haunt. If you've been watching these videos throughout the course of them, you've heard me talk about Netherworld Collectibles over and over again, but for a long time it didn't seem like Netherworld Collectibles was going to be around much longer, and they actually had to close down the location they were in. Well, on top of that, it's been a long time since they've really gotten any new NES games in. It seems that a lot of people, like me, are kind of just taking them and collecting them and keeping them home now, so they've had a hard time restocking that. Well, thankfully, they opened up their new location, which I'm super excited about. It's actually a much nicer location. The store's really well laid out. Guys, go check it out if you haven't. And even better than that, they got a pile of new NES games in. And luckily, there was one in the shelves that I actually needed. It's a Vic Tokai game. Conflict.
Conflict by Vic Tokai is a military strategy game. For those of you who've been following along, military strategy games are not my favorite thing in the world. In fact, I get very little to no enjoyment out of them. I do like strategy games like, Shining Force and Final Fantasy Tactics, but military tactical strategy games, not my cup of tea. Glad to finally have this in my collection, and I really like Vic Tokai as a publisher, so it's cool to have all the Vic Tokai games now. I think I have them all. Anyways, Conflict, finally added to my collection.
The next two games I'm going to show you are ones I actually had to travel quite a bit to get. Recently with my work, we had meetings in Vancouver, so of course, if I'm going to Vancouver, there's only one place I'm going. I'm going to go check out Game Deals in Vancouver. I was there probably around 3 years ago, and I got some really cool things for my collection. Not many NES games, but I got a couple cool games. This time I went specifically with two things in mind. I was looking for some TurboGrafx-16 games I needed, and they had a lot of TurboGrafx-16 games. Unfortunately, some of them were really expensive. But they did have two NES games that I needed that were reasonably priced, and I was happy to add to my collection. First one up is actually a pool game. It's FCI Break Time, the National Pool Tour.
FCI's Break Time, the National Pool Tour. I actually really like pool games. This one I find a little bit difficult to get my angles correct. I've only played it a few times, but hey, it's not bad. If you like pool, this is a fun game. I don't know if it's the best pool game on the NES, but it's definitely one that I'm having a little bit of fun with, and I'll definitely play some more just to beat around and have fun with it. To tell you the truth, it's funny because you never see games like this on modern consoles. You don't see pool games or dart games, and honestly, maybe it's something I want to play, but probably want to play both in real life more.
And last up today, from the games I got in Game Deals in Vancouver, is an NES game that I'm really excited to finally have. I'll actually tell you, a little while ago, I thought I was already going to have it. I think it was about 2 summers ago. Bought a big lot of games off a local reseller here, and this game was actually listed as one of the games that he had in his lot. But through the jigs and the reels, when I actually went to pick it up, this game was missing. He didn't know what happened to it. So fast forward to 2 years, I'm looking through the games in Game Deals Vancouver. I went through the cheap pile and I found FCI Break Time. But I went over to the case and I took a look through what they had there. They had some good games, very expensive games, but ones I already had. but I did notice one game peeking up from the slot that I was very excited to find, and it's based off one of the weirdest movies you'll ever watch. Cool World.
Cool World came on the heels of Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit was this revolutionary movie that mended real life with cartoons and was amazingly well done. But obviously there was some, I guess, unanswered questions that needed answering. Cool World did that because we always wondered what happened if Jessica Rabbit had a sexual relationship with the lead character. Well, yeah, Cool World delivered. Cool World is definitely one of those NES games that I see a movie or a licensed franchise and you really have to question how did this get made into a video game? I have no idea. Game-wise, Cool World, it's not the funnest thing I've ever played. In fact, I really don't know how to play it. I've really tried. I've tried to enjoy this, tried to understand what I'm doing, and short of reading the manual, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe this is a great game, but so far, not getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's a very hard game to find. Definitely not super expensive, but certainly not easy to find at all, and one I'm excited just for the collecting aspect to finally have in my collection.
So guys, that's everything I've picked up this time. Not a lot of games that I'm really excited to add to my collection of games that I'm going to go back and play a ton. Maybe I'll go back and try Cool World some more. I mean, obviously I'm missing something there. There has to be more to that game, and just don't really understand how to play it right now. I gotta play Cool World. Like, you guys have no idea. This movie is so strange. Like, of all the really weird NES games like Darkman and, you know, Platoon, like, this is one of those ones that you just don't understand how they can make this into a kid's NES game. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I digress. What you're really here for, the update. For those of you who've been following along at home, last time I had
674 NES games.
This time I added 3 new games, which brings my total to 677 NES games. And that means I only have 91 games remaining for complete North American NES set, according to Nintendo Age. Guys, I'm really excited. Only 91 more games. I say this every time. I don't know how quick I'm going to be able to pick up games right now. I'm in the bottom 100 of the games, and I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of games on this list are very expensive. I mean, I've got Power Blade 2, Panic Restaurant, Bubble Bobble 2, and somehow those games are all up around $300 to $500, so if I'm going to find them, it's going to have to be a deal. So I apologize if you're tuning in to expect me to find those. I'm not going to shell out $300 to $500 for one of those games just off the hop. If I find a good deal, I'll definitely pick it up, but it's also kind of nerve-wracking right now because people are charging so much for games. There's so many fakes and reproductions and stuff out there that it's almost terrifying to find a game from a seller. Like, you really got to be lucky. Anyways, I digress again. Guys, that's my update this time. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much, everybody, for following along on my quest to complete my NES collection, and I hope you're enjoying the ride as much as me. I only have 91 games remaining for a complete US North American